He's going to do a little arc to try to get under you. 100 feet back, making that dive. Too cool here.
That 38 is no matter what I do, he's today.
Race friends, it's time for the fastest 2 hours in motorsports. It's time for On Pit Road Racing, right here, right now, live from downtown Las Vegas on the flagship station, the WCOBM Television Network. Our race team will have all the latest news, updates, and interviews for the world of motorsports. So buckle up and pull those belts tight. The green flag is in the air, and it's time to go racing. And here are the hosts of On Pit Road Racing, Alan Michaels and the First Lady, Diane Fox.
Everybody, and welcome to On Pit Road Racing right here live at the WCOBM. We come to you from the studios located downtown Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street in suite number 175. And just right across the hallway is the Gene Woods Racing Experience, the indoor drift track. And just a little bit farther across a couple double doors there, you're going to find the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. So it's all in this one big complex located in the heart of downtown, everybody. So it's good to have you all aboard. Show airs each and every Wednesday, 5 p.m. right here. And we stream it live on the WCOBM.TV network, along with all of his Facebook channels, YouTube, LinkedIn. We've got it all. Search it there. You'll find it on their Facebook pages and everything else, man. Just a great, great gift. Our show partners for this event, man, really good. The Gene Woods Racing Experience, 2 great locations. 121 East Sunset Road. That's located right out by the Las Vegas airport, man. Just right off the Las Vegas Strip, not even a mile away from the strip right there. Go out and join it. That's the outdoor racetrack. And, of course, right downtown at the Neonopolis Complex at 450 Fremont Street, that's where we do this show and the indoor drift track. So we want to give a shout out to Gene Woods and all the good fine folks. You can find more information on the World Wide Web at gokartslasvegas.com. Once again, that's the World Wide Web, www.gokartslasvegas.com. Also, our good friends over at the Woods Family Sandwiches, 2 great locations here in the Las Vegas area for you, right on the state or right on the city line there of Las Vegas and Henderson, and of course up in Boulder there. If you're on your way up to the dam and to all that great stuff, stop up there to see Dalen at the gang. Woods Family Sandwiches, more information, place your orders and get stuff delivered, all kinds of great stuff. World Wide Web, WFSandwiches.com is where you're going to find them. Our good friends at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, great events coming up there. They just wrapped up the Bull Ring of the Night of Fire. We'll have all the details coming up on next week's show, and just trying to press out everything with that. But LVMS.com, you got NASCAR coming to town for the Round of 8, the championship coming here in October. Then about 2 weeks after that, the NHRA comes to town. And then right after that, we're going to be getting Formula One. And then, of course, Super Bowl gets here and all kinds of great stuff. So if you're more interested in what's going on at LVMS.com, that's going to get travel packages, tickets, camping, anything you want to know about the experiences and everything else, man. So that's it. Great to be with you guys today. Diane Fox has taken the day off. She is back in the office working up the rest of our schedule. Today's just going to be a kickback day. Give you all the results. No guest or book for today. We're just here to talk a little bit of racing. And we've got our comment lines open up. So if you'd like to chat in, how did you like Chicago, everybody? Was it something that you liked? I thought the event was okay. I thought it was more, I think it was more of a stunt, a publicity PR type of thing. Really? I mean, I think the rain made it a little bit more interesting, but, that's how that goes too. So, whatever, but we'll get to it, okay? Also want to say hi to our good friends down at Atlanta Motorsports Park, Jeremy Porter and the whole Stephanie and everybody down there. Great, great facilities, and good to have them on as a partner, man. And you can catch it at atlantamotorsports.com. It is the country club of motorsports. And we, Diane and I, plan on taking a trip down there coming up either in August or September. It's in Dawsonville, Georgia. It's actually not in Atlanta. It's in Dawsonville. And Jeremy and Stephanie told me this is actually right across the way from where Chase Elliott and Bill Elliott's shops are at. And there's, I guess, a landing strip there for their planes and everything else. But we're going to get down and check this thing out. They got IMSA racing there. They got go-kart racing. They got drifting racing. They got all kinds of great stuff. And they've got condos up that you can live there. Just a great resort area for motorsports people. Atlanta Motorsports Park, and we'll be playing their commercials throughout the show today. I want to thank Jeff Motley for appearing last week, man. Great guy, Vice President of Media Relations and Communications for the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Also, Sonoma Speedway out there too. So, Jeff, thanks a lot. Also, want to say hi to Chris Martin out there from Canada. What a great young man he was. And we're going to play his Kia commercial coming up here in a little bit too. So that's what it. We got guests lined up. We've got Idel Zetterstorm. She's a top fuel racer and a street bike racing champion from London, England. This lady is going to be coming on the show here towards the middle of the month, along with Jeremy Porter, the CEO and president of Atlanta Motorsports Park. And we've got interviews lined up with Brendan Gaughan. Looking forward to NASCAR weekend coming to town because the big special guest honoring the old classic drivers, Rusty Wallace, will be here. So we'll be out there at the South Point Hotel and Casino for that all coming up, man. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, hey, just contact Diane Fox at 702-803-0875. Once again, that telephone number, 702-803-0875. Get in touch with Diane Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. Or you can send her an email at onpitroadracing@gmail.com. Once again, onpitroadracing@gmail.com. The segment is called Racing Around the Country. That's where we feature the local drivers. You don't have to be from Las Vegas. You can be from anywhere. We had guests on from Canada. We've had people on from Washington, back east from the Carolinas. We set you up with the StreamYard service and the satellite and get you all hooked up and ready to go, okay? So that's pretty much about it. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll get back and we'll get things started for you. On Pit Road Racing is live here today, coming up on July 5th, the day after 4th of July, and hope you guys all had a great time out there with the 4th of July. Back right after this, everybody.
Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. I'm not we, but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone. You know, it makes for good karma or good energy, whatever it takes. Hell, I ought to do a product placement for Coca-Cola, too.
You're pushing it, Turtle, but have a good day. Thanks, mate. I appreciate you coming on camera.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
All right, talk to you later.
Later, dude.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Pit Road Racing back at you right here, man, about 9 minutes after the hour here on the West Coast, live from Las Vegas, WCOBM. Take good care of business today. Running solo today. Diane's back at the office. Look at the rest of the shows up for the month of July and August, folks. If you be a guest on the program, just give her a call, 702-803-0875. and we'll get you hooked up. We just need a photo and a bio, and we'll get you in this segment called Racing Around the Country, okay? Hey, real quickly, it's time to check racing weather out. It's brought to you by our good friends at Woods Family Sandwiches, 2 great locations on the World Wide Web at WFSandwiches.com. NASCAR weekend in Atlanta Friday. You're looking at mostly sunny skies with temperatures right around the mid-80s for you. Saturday, a 50% chance of rain with highs in the upper 80s. And Sunday, the rain increases to about 60% chance, and the temperature is going to be right around 85 degrees for you. F1 is racing this weekend. They're in Great Britain, and skies are going to be cloudy all weekend long, and they've got a 20% chance of rain throughout the weekend with temperatures right around the mid-70s, okay? The NHRA is off this weekend, and IndyCar is off this weekend. Las Vegas weather for you this weekend. All I can say, if you're coming to Las Vegas, bring the water, bring your shorts, and bring the swimming suits because it is hot. And I mean, by hot, I mean 105 plus. So get ready for it, okay? That's a look at racing weather for you around the track, brought to you by our good friends at Woods Family Sandwiches. 2 great locations here in Las Vegas and up in Boulder. WFSandwiches.com. Place your orders for delivery. Racing news, man, let's get it started from this past weekend. F1 results from the Austria Grand Prix. Man, I'm just going to tell you, he's just taking names and kicking butt all the way around. It's Max Verstappen. Once again, he completed a clean sweep for the pole position and winning the race at the Australian Grand Prix. Another dominant display from the driver on the Sunday's main event, catching up with Charles Leclerc and also his Red Bull team, Sergio Perez. So it's Verstappen, Leclerc, and Perez. Top 3 right now in the points for you. Verstappen has just got a massive lead over Sergio Perez, 229 to 148. Fernando Alonso is back at 131. Next coming up is the Grand Prix in Britain this weekend. Everything gets kicked off away with qualifying and practice started on Friday, Saturday, and of course the race coming up for you on Sunday. And don't forget, F1 comes here to Las Vegas in the month of November 16th through your 18th. Just log on to F1.com for tickets if there are any still available, okay? I think this is going to be a great event. Of course, Jeff Motley, we talked about that last week on the program. Did Las Vegas Motor Speedway have a shot of that? He said no, that was pretty much that out, but he did leave this hole open that there could be a possibility that IndyCar could return. I think a lot of things are going to have to happen with that. Johnny Spilatro, my good friend, was in today, and we put some pieces together for Johnny's workout segment. Johnny and I were talking. It's going to be tough, man. Will the drivers want to go back up there? I'm not quite sure. But anyhow, F1 coming back for you, and we'll keep it tabs to see what goes on with IndyCar. And speaking of it, it was precision, and it paid off again for Alex Palou on Sunday. Man, it's 3 in a row for him winning the Honda Indy 200 at the Mid-Ohio road course, man. It was Palou, Scott Dixon getting in there, man. Dixon's going to win before the year's over with, guaranteed. I see it coming. He's the most winningest driver in the NXTT IndyCar circuit. Will Power, your top 3 in that, and leading it right now, Alex Palou for Chip Ganassi Racing. Scott Dixon's up in second. Joseph Newgarden for Penske right now. Next up for the Indy cars, man, it's going to be July 16th, the Honda Grand Prix in Toronto. That's what's going to be happening right there for you, okay? NHRA news, they're back in action July 14th through the 16th. It's going to be the Dodge Brokers Power NHRA Mile High Nationals. This is a sad thing, folks. That track, this is going to be the last event of that track. The owner of the track has been holding out for years and years and years. And finally, somebody put up the money that was just good enough. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody makes you an offer, they write it on a napkin, slide it across the table, and that number is just too good. So this will be the last run at Bernard right there for the Dodge Brokers Power Nationals at the Mile High at Brandomere Speedway. This is going to be the last race, and it's a historic race. The property has been sold, so hopefully they're going to find another location to move this. Right now, heading into this weekend, your points leaders after 9 of 21 events, Justin Ashley leads Steve Torrence and Leah Pruitt in the top fuel category. Matt Hagan and Ron Capps and Robert Height, top 3 in funny car. Dallas Glenn is just running away with Pro Stock. Matt Hafford and Derek Kramer, your top 3. In Pro Stock motorcycles, Gage Herrera, Hector Arana Jr., and Steve Johnson are your top 3. And don't forget, NHRA returns back to Las Vegas October 26th through the 29th for the Nevada Nationals there. So that's what you got going on in NHRA. Real quickly, before we go to NASCAR news and notes and everything else, I want to take one more quick break. Pay a couple quick bills. When we come back, we'll get NASCAR news for you, all brought to you by our good friends at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Pit Road Racing at the WCOBM. Back in 2, everybody.
The bright lights, the glitz, the glamour. It all means nothing without a shot. A chance to turn dreams into reality, to change your destiny, to make history. Nothing's given, everything earned. It's more than a race. It's a shot at a championship.
Let's go get a championship, baby!
The NASCAR playoffs return to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the South Point 400, October 13th through 15th.
Come on! What the yeah! Oh, man! Woo! That is awesome!
Kia, movement that inspires.
Jerry B here up in Sacramento, Union Gospel Mission, giving out some shoes to the homeless. Here, a lot of smiling faces. We got one deal. We give you a pair of shoes. You got to give us a smirk and a photo. And this is the mission of the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, which is a non-profit organization based out of Las Vegas, started by Gene Woods. We're trying to do good things and fill little holes in people's lives the best we can. And today we're up in Sacramento, just doing the best we can. Thanks for supporting us.
Jerry B right there. I want to thank Jerry B too, man, helping me out. Jerry Bernardo, good part of this crew, sits on the executive board of the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. Of course, Jerry was known for Motor World, ESPN2. I was catching some of Jerry's past performances, man. What a nut he was, man. I'd have liked to hung around with Jerry. Anyhow, we're back with you on Pit Road Racing, done it live at downtown Fremont Street, the WCOVM studios. Diane Fox off today. She's back up booking guests, taking good care of things. Once again, too, if you'd like to be a guest on the program, shout out her at 702-803-0875. Looking for racing around the country right now. So we'd like to hear from our local racers out there, grassroots racing, and come down and see us, okay? Hey, NASCAR weekend for you, man. Getting caught up with NASCAR and what's going on. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is back in action this weekend. They're going to be up in Mid-Ohio. That's right, the O'Reilly Auto Parts 150 Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio, just right outside of Columbus, right there. 67 laps around the track, 151 miles. You can catch the event on Fox Sports 1, MRN, and Sirius XM Radio. We'll have the call for you. Currently, right now, it's Corey Helm, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, Zane Smith, and Ben Rhodes are your top 5 leading into this weekend with the trucks. I want to say hi to my buddy Spencer Boyd out there in his number 12 for Young Motorsports will be running out there too, okay? Also, getting caught up, man, we talked about this a little bit earlier. What everybody think about Chicago this weekend? Well, I got started off with Xfinity racing and drenching rain and standing water on the Chicago Street Course forced NASCAR to declare Cole Custer the winner of the Loop 121 NASCAR Xfinity race with 3 laps short of halfway and 5 laps short of completion stage 2. Custer led all 25 laps of the NASCAR's first ever street course race before lightning strikes in the area caused NASCAR to red flag the event and postpone it until Sunday morning, but the rain kept coming on. It kept coming on. We didn't even know we were going to get cup racing in there, but it ended up working out okay. So they got the race in. Cole Custer wins the event. John Hunter Nemechek wraps up in second place. Justin Allgaier, Brett Moffitt, and Austin Hill are your top 5. Current standings in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, driver standings, it's John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Hill, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, and Chandler Smith. Playoffs, it's pretty much about the same thing. It's John Hunter Nemechek, Austin Hill, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, and Chandler Smith. Up next, Saturday, July 8th, the Alsco 250. Coverage will be television-wise. USA Network's got it. Performance Racing Network, which is PRN, and Sirius XM will take care of all the radio broadcasts for that one for you right there, okay? The Cup Series moved on, and we thought that this wasn't going to get rolling on because when I woke up Sunday and got finished with my morning routines, I flipped things over for a pre-race, and the rain was just pouring down. I thought, how in the heck are they going to do this? As rain tires came into effect, but it also moved into slicks. But anyhow, when the Grant Park 250 turned topsy-turvy with 49 laps, it didn't change or slow down. New Zealander Shane Van Gisbergen, okay, it was the first driver to win his first NASCAR race since Johnny Rutherford did it 60 years ago. 60 years ago, Johnny Rutherford did this, came in from another division to win it. Driving the number 91 Chevrolet under the Trackhouse Racing team there, the Project number 91 program. I really think that this was something really cool that they put together. Given a chance for drivers from other series to come over and experience stock car racing. I just think this was so cool that they did this. Kiki Reikman has done it for the Project 91 and for the Marks team. And I just think that this is so good. This guy was no slouch, okay, man. He was 3-time supercar champion, and he charged from 8 laps down with lap 61 restart and moved right ahead to win at the first ever street course a little bit in overtime. He said, did you ever expect to win this thing? And coming back to a quote, he said, no, not at all. But he's really enjoyed it. He's had a really good time with it. And I see this guy coming up. NASCAR, I believe, has already approved that if he wants to come over and run this series, he's more than welcome. I saw the TV interview after this race was over with him. I guess he's got some sponsor commitments and everything back in New Zealand and Australia where he runs the supercars. And so he says, I got a year to finish up there, but he said he'd really like to have a shot at running NASCAR. So I think this would be really good. So the rest of the field for you, of course, SBG, that's what everybody started calling him. Justin Haley wrapped up in second place. Chase Elliott, who really needs a win. He has a shot to point his way into the shot for the title, but it's going to be a long road for him to do it. He's going to need a lot of help along the way. But I think Chase is coming up for it. I think he might hit this weekend because he's going back to Atlanta. That's a home track for him. They love him there. He loves that track, and I think he'll do real well. Chase Elliott for you in third spot. Kyle Larson in fourth. Las Vegas native Kyle Busch wrapping up top 5. Austin Cedric, Michael McDowell, who had a shot to win this thing, and he thought this might be the closest thing that he might be able to getting a shot to winning. Michael's been really good on the short track racing. He's also been good on super speedway, and he's been exceptionally good on road course racing. So Michael doesn't pick up the win, so we'll hope for this week. Joey Logano and Ty Gibbs and Chris Buescher round out your top 10. So this is looking really wild. I did a little research today, folks, and I just wanted to see where we were at with everything with NASCAR. So anyhow, your playoff standings, current standings. The current standings has got Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, Brad Kay, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Bubba Wallace, and Ty Gibbs, your top 16. So the playoffs, though, look like this. As they stand after Chicago heading into Atlanta, 18 to 26 events. We're over halfway, coming up with about 10 races to go before the playoffs start. William Byron up on top, number 1, 3 wins, 582 points. Kyle Busch stands up in second, 3 wins, 560 points. Martin Truex Jr. Now, this is the playoff standings, okay? Martin Truex Jr. is number 19 Toyota, 2 wins, 591. Then you got Kyle Larson in fourth spot, 2 wins, 521. Ross Chastain with a win at 573. Then you got Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., all in the top 11. All of them have wins. So they're locked in for sure for the shot at the title this year, okay? So then following right after that, then you got, then we got Kevin Harvick. Then you've got Chris Buescher, Brad Kay, Bubba Wallace, and Ty Gibbs. Now, they're so far locked in and on points, okay? On the cut line right now is Daniel Suarez sitting in 17th. Michael McDowell, 10 back from the cut line, sitting in 18th. The Dinger, A.J. Allmendinger, 24 back from the cut line. And Alex Bowman, 26 back from the cut line. So that's what you got looking at that. I mean, this is going to be wild. And heading to Atlanta this weekend, I think things are going to change. Now, the only thing that I heard out of this Chicago street race, and a couple of the racers made some mention online, that with an outer or a road ringer, whatever you like to call it, winning the event, then the points, if you notice, all got shuffled down because there was not a winner in the regular series this past week. So, yeah, drivers that were happy for it, that weren't happy for it, I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts. Send us an email. Drop on right now if you're watching. Got a comment you'd like to say about it? I've got the comment line open. Did you like Chicago? Did you not like Chicago? I just thought it was more, I don't know. I just thought it was really more of something that I don't know. It just wasn't, I don't know if it was a PR stunt. Now, I've got some numbers that we'll get into in the second half of the show and to see what you all think about it. Because NBC says this was the #1 rated NASCAR show in 6 years. We got all the details, and we got racing news and everything else that we want to cover on Pit Road Racing. Doing it live today. Yours truly, Alan Michaels, live from our downtown studios. When we come back, we'll talk some racing news. A little message from my good friend Ralph Shaheen, who's up in Sacramento. Take a listen to this, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Shaheen, the voice of almost everything in motorsports. Ralphie, welcome to the Sacramento Mile.
Thanks, buddy. It's great to be back home here in Sacramento, and the Mile is such a legendary event. All the heroes of the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame here with us. It's going to be a great night of racing.
All right, I need you to give us a shout out for On Pit Road Racing, which is a great motorsports show. Alan Michael and family down there in Vegas out of Gene's Racetrack. It's full grassroots. Give them a little bit of what the flavor of the Sacramento Mile is. Some people don't know.
Well, this is one of those events, should be on everybody's bucket list. Miles are certainly the most exciting form to me of American flat track racing. And the Sacramento Mile is a truly legendary event. 57th edition of it this year. So make sure you come up here and check this event out. Not that far from Vegas. It's easy. Just jump on a quick flight, get up here, have a good time. You'll be home plenty of time before the casinos get too busy the next day. So we'll see you down there.
All right, thanks, buddy. Have a good day and good luck on the call.
Hey, we look forward to seeing all this stuff on Pit Road with you guys. Love it. Great job. Keep it up down there in Vegas.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. Downtown Las Vegas. Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Come on down and join a little bit of the fun out there, man. Gene Woods Racing Experience. 450 Fremont Street, the indoor drift track. And of course, if you want to go fast, take a ride right down Las Vegas Boulevard, get to Sunset, take a left out there. Go see my buddy Jay Bailey, Mike Maria's out there. Grab a hold of some of them go-karts, man. Have a good time. All right. Good to have you all with us today. Diane's off today. She's back in the office taking care of some business, booking the rest of July and coming up in August. Once again, if you'd like to be on the program, 702-803-0875. Or drop us a line on our email, onpitroadracing@gmail.com. Okay. Racing around the country is it. No matter what you do, if you're running on the dirt, you're running on the asphalt, whether you run a stock car, drag car, open wheel car, we'd like to talk to you and give you a chance to tell your story with us, okay? Show is in its 12th season here, and that's what we like to do. Real quickly, I want to hold up the shoe here real quick, all right? I played this spot coming around here. Jerry Bernardo talked about it. Gene's talked about it. This is the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame right here. And here's the shoe that we're working with, everybody. Let me pull this up. This is the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, which is a 501c3. We provide new shoes. Right here is what they are. They're heart shoes, and they're full of love, and we're trying to help out needy men, women, and children to give them good, necessary, good health and positive development. If you know somebody out there, we'd like for you to reach out to us. You can do it real simply. You can just drop us a line at onpitroadracing@gmail.com. If you're a nonprofit organization, if you know a charity out there, a church, could be a shelter, could be anything. Give us a note, and let's see if we can't get our mobile unit on the road to you and get you down. That's a look at the shoe right there. It's pretty cool. I've actually got a pair of them on my feet right now. They're really good. Nice, good shoe. Nice, good athletic shoe to have some fun bopping around the strip or wherever you're bopping around at. Okay. On Pit Road Racing, we're doing it right here. Coming up 31 minutes past the hour, 29 till the top. We do it each and every week. And today we're just recapping. Everybody's sort of catching a break off of the 4th of July weekend. I hope you had a great, safe time here in Las Vegas. The skies were lit up last night. I think there were more people in the neighborhoods lighting off the fireworks than everybody else that were legally supposed to do it, if you know what I mean. But anyhow, it's all good fun. Nobody got hurt. A couple of fires here and there, but that's going to happen, okay? Chicago weekend, we talked about this. I don't know if you guys liked it. If you didn't like it, I just think that NASCAR is I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to branch out. They're trying to look at new audiences. I mean, let's face it, folks. If you look at the numbers, NHRA is doing very, very well. The coverage on Fox has been fantastic. They're keeping most of the live action on the main network. IndyCar ratings are up. F1 ratings are up. I mean, it's doing very well. It was down in Austin, did great. Miami sold out. I mean, they're finding more ways to put people here in Las Vegas. They're talking 250,000 people are going to come to this thing. And half of them aren't even going to have tickets. They're just going to come out here to enjoy it. I think it's going to be something really, really neat to see this. But as far as NASCAR goes, I'm sorry. I spent 25 years of my life in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, just an hour away from Charlotte. Went to some great tracks there. Of course, Martinsville was right up, Wilkesboro, Rockingham. Great local tracks, the Madhouse of Bowman Gray Stadium. Hickory, North Carolina, great track. Concord had a great track. Kernersville had one. South Boston. It's stock car racing. And I just think that there's a place for everybody's racing. And I just think that NASCAR is, and don't get me wrong, folks, I love stock car racing. I love it to death. There's nothing better than smelling the tires and the fuel and the bumping and banging. I love it. But this is my opinion and my opinion only. I just think that NASCAR needs to get back to where it's from. I think it needs to get back to stock car racing. If NASCAR did not realize when they put the All-Star race at Wilkesboro and it sold out that quick, and at the end of the event, there was no beers, there was no hamburgers, there's no hot dogs, you couldn't find a t-shirt. Rockingham. They're talking about the schedule next year. They're taking the dirt out of Bristol. Well, that's fine. If you want to take the dirt out of Bristol, but you still want to run dirt, then go to Eldora. Tony Stewart has stuck millions of dollars into this racetrack. They're running the trucks up there as it is now. So if you want to do something like that, that's fine. We've got enough road courses. I want to see North Wilkesboro have a full event next year. I want to see Rockingham come back. There's talk about L.A. Fontana's going to get rid of the big track. They're going to go to short track racing. I'd love this. I would just, I mean, NASCAR has had two tracks through the years that has done them great. Sonoma Raceway, in Watkins Glen. Now they've added COTA. Now they've added this. Now they've added that. NASCAR is getting away from what it was. But just to let you know, this from NBC. Got this today, straight off the wire. NBC sports coverage of the first ever NASCAR Cup Series street race in Chicago. Total audience delivered 4.795 million viewers. Okay. This came from the Nielsen ratings. Now, how much I trust them, I don't know. Just trust me, folks. I've been radio and TV, and I know how these boxes work. Here's the big thing. Most watched NASCAR series race on NBC in 6 years. On NBC. Since the Indianapolis race back in 2017. Most watched NASCAR race on any network since Daytona of February 19th. What's the Daytona 500? There's no, that you're trying to compare apples to oranges there. That's just like you're going to tell me that more people are going to watch the IndyCar race in St. Petersburg, Florida, than they're going to watch in Indianapolis at the 500. Come on. You're comparing apples to oranges here, folks. At least the network is. Said the viewership was up 144%. 72% up from NBC's coverage last year of the race that they had on. Most streamed NASCAR race ever in sports history. 163,500 viewers across the Peacock platform. Okay. I guess I don't know. That number just doesn't seem like it's a big number for NBC. I would expect that number streaming wise, with everything being the way it is streaming. We're streaming. That's what we do right here. This is exactly what we're doing. I just think that number should have, I don't know. I don't know if the number's off. I just think for NBC and that Peacock, 163,000. Okay. You want to hear something funny about this race? An arrest was made for a man that drove onto the Chicago street course. Charges are pending against a man who allegedly drove onto the NASCAR Chicago street race course on Saturday night after the delay of Saturday's event. And it was canceled due to the weather. 46-year-old man was able to get access to the race course at about 9 p.m. He wasn't immediately cleared, according to Chicago police. It was a bright yellow Corvette with red flames. This sounds like something out of Hot Wheels. I'll get into that in a second. But anyhow, he was stopped near Michigan Avenue and Balboa Drive. He's reported using an unauthorized car on the racetrack. You think? Officers also questioned two other men that they seen driving on the course. That was about 9:30. At about 9:01, the 46-year-old man was taken into custody. They found him on the 1200 block of South Lakeshore Drive. So I guess he tried to do this twice. Folks, the way the world is nowadays, you're not going to pull anything like that. Want to say hi to Gene Woods down in Florida, Tampa. Good to see you, Gene. Good you're down there listening to us. He says the signal's strong, looking good down there. Hey, Gene. Just heard it from Diane. She said we're doing right. Want to say hi to Pete over in North Carolina. Pete's in there. He just said hey to us. Hey, Pete, how you doing? Good to have you on board. Alan Michaels on Pit Road Racing. A couple of quick notes to NASCAR news for you. NASCAR Hall of Famer and legendary team owner Richard Childress is going to get the command of fire engines at Sunday's NASCAR Quaker State 400. It's also available at Walmart too. Walmart's into everything. Childress will utter the famous words of the command to start your engines while he's inside the cockpit of the number 29 car that was driven by Kevin Harvick that won back in 2001 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We all remember what happened the week before. We lost Dale Sr. Childress saying to be the Grand Marshal of Atlanta is one of my favorite racetracks, and a driver and a car owner is honored, according to Childress. They've had a lot of success at AMS. He's had several wins there. And he said recently the biggest last win that he had was with the Xfinity car. So he said he's ready for a cup win. I am so glad to see Richard Childress doing well this year. I had a chance to interview Richard years ago, in fact, at North Wilkesboro, when I was with Prime Sports Radio. And I mean, he was just such an interesting guy. From Welcome, North Carolina, just on the other side of Lexington, North Carolina is where where he's from. Great museum. If you ever get a chance to get over there, go see the Richard Childress Racing Museum. I mean, you'll see all kinds of cool stuff back in the day, from the Earnhardt days, his days. And Richard was the one that told me the story about how sponsors work and everything else, you know. You're a billionaire, become a millionaire, buy a race team. Sponsor it, will go broke. But I'm just glad to see Richard Childress Racing doing well this year. I mean, I'm glad to see Gibbs doing well. Hendrick's been in there. Stewart Haas Racing. I am so happy for Josh Berry getting that ride. But I'm just glad to see Richard Childress Racing back in winning. Kyle Busch is with them now, 3 wins this year. Austin has his days. I mean, he's won. He's had his days. But I'm just glad to see somebody that's been in the sport as long as Richard Childress, the time, the money, the energy, the effort that he has put, a grand ambassador to NASCAR. And I'm sorry, that's my opinion. To me, he's a grand ambassador to NASCAR. One of those guys that has just stuck around through the years, and he's just kept punching, considering what he lost. I mean, he lost probably the greatest driver of all times, if not one of the top 3. I mean, you got to hang him with Petty. And whether you're a Jimmy Johnson fan or not, you got to hang him with him too. But I mean, Earnhardt was such a special guy. He didn't take crap from anybody. And if you're going to race him, you knew what you were going to get with him. But once again, I'm just so happy that Richard Childress Racing is doing good. On Pit Road Racing, we're live here at the WCOBM. About 15 minutes left here for today. Diane will be back with us next week. We've got a host of good guests coming on next week. We'll let it out for you. Want to remind you, too, about the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, the 4th annual, or as Gene would call it, the 4.0, coming up last week in January, right around January 27th. I'm the guy that's got to handle all the hotels, so we'll get posted up where we can get your rooms at. We'd invite you to come on down. It's a great event if you're involved into the motorcycle or a motorsports business in any way, whether you're a rider, a driver, if you're a track owner, a promoter. It's just a great thing to do. Gene and the staff of the Hot Shoe put this thing together. It is unbelievable to come in and see the Hall of Fame. It's just a great day. It's nothing fancy. You don't have to wear fancy clothes. You don't have to buy a tuxedo. You don't have to do anything like that. You just come. Come in shorts. Come in blue jeans. Come in flip-flops. Bring your racing shirts. World Wide Web, hotshoehof.com. World Wide Web, hof.com. Hotshoehof.com. In fact, let me do this right now. I got it for you rolling across the screen. If you want to make a donation to the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, it's right there. Log on to it. You can get yourself signed up for a free newsletter. We do it each and every month. Gives you all the information, who's coming up. Gene's kept it up under secret who the Lifetime Achievement Award's going to this year. He says it's going to be a big, big, big surprise. So he's got something cooking. On Pit Road Racing, doing it here each and every Wednesday afternoon, everybody. 5 to 7 today, just 5 to 6. Got some great motorcycle guests coming up, too. Some great, great motorcycle guests coming up. I read this article. It came out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And if you haven't heard me before, I spent about 20 years of my life there. 20 to 25. Diane, too. And over by Bowman Gray Stadium, where Winston-Salem State University plays football, and then on the outside of that is the racetrack. Some people like to know it as the Madhouse. Bowman Gray Stadium, we used to go every Saturday night. stop at Pluman's Hot Dogs and pick us up a box of foot-long hot dogs and a lemonade. And we were rolling. Well, right down the street from there is the NASCAR, or actually the proper technical name to it is the Winston Cup Museum. It's 60 years old. 60 years. This is back when R.J. Reynolds and Winston Brand was the title sponsor of it. T. Wayne Roberts, what a great guy. What a great guy he was. If T. Wayne was here today, he'd be so upset about this. Well, anyhow, to get to the story of this, Reynolds Tobacco sold their brand to ITG. Once again, ITG Brands LLC. The sale went down a couple of years ago, and these guys are all upset. They're upset about this because they own the rights to the Winston brand. When they bought RJR, they bought the brand. They bought Winston, they bought Salem, they bought Camel, they bought whatever cigarettes that they're making. And they also own the name to the Winston. Well, this company wants to smash this guy in this business that's been there 60 years. I wish I could say if you lived over in the area, man, or in the area, please rush down there before the end of the week to go see this place. You want to see some great, great memorabilia from the old NASCAR Winston Cup days. This was a place to see. Just right down the road from Bowman Gray. So anyhow, this guy's filed a lawsuit. He doesn't like it. He thinks it's a traveling show. He doesn't want anything to have anything to do with it. He's demanding that the owner shut this place down. They've already had 2 trials on this. And the lawsuit was filed on January 20th against the museum and its founder and co-owner, William Spencer. And William also has JKS Motorsports Incorporated. It went to the Guilford District Court, which ITG requested a jury trial. The 3rd lawsuit transferred from the North Carolina Business Court in February. The previous 2 lawsuits were dismissed in the district court. At the dispute is which the group owns the rights to the museum and the Winston brand. The shutdown is going to take effect on this coming Monday. This is last week, folks. I am so sick of big business coming in and destroying things like this. I mean, this place was something that was very, very special. And for the old schoolers and the old timers out there like me, it's been, I'm in my 60s. And we remember the Winston Cup days in the Winston Racing Series. T. Wayne was a guy that directed motorsports in the Winston brand. It's just to see somebody come in, a big power company. This place is not huge. It's not a giant. I mean, it's not the Smithsonian, sorry. It's not anything like that at all. It's a simple little building that's got a lot of great motorsports memorabilia, cars, the old days, the old sponsors, the way racing was back when racing was the way it was. And for a big business to come in, they can't work out some deal. This guy has owned this place for 60 years. 60 years. Moms and dads and uncles and grandpas have been taking their sons and daughters, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. I'd like to see something happen with this. I'm going to make a telephone call over there tomorrow. Because I just think that this big company here, once again, big company coming in to shut things down. You had enough money to buy Reynolds Tobacco. What are you worried about the Winston brand? What are you worried about a museum that highlights a business, a sport that's been rolling for 75 years this year? When Bill France and all the rest of the people that were involved when it started in Charlotte and Daytona, Talladega, this is memory. This is history. I hope Mr. Spencer can find another location. And I'm going to reach out to Mr. Spencer, and I'd like to have him on this program. I'd like him to tell his story on this. Because this is just crazy. It's absolutely just crazy that a big company wants to come in and shut something down that's been there for over 50 years, 60 years this guy's had this place there. If you're in that area, Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem, or Charlotte, you have never been to a Get Up There this week before it shuts down. Take your cameras. In fact, if you're listening to the program, you get over there and you take some shots, send us some copies at onpitroadracing@gmail.com. I'd love to post them. I'm going to reach out to Mr. Spencer because I just think this is just a travesty that another big business is coming in and wants to take out something, get rid of something because they want money for something. I know a guy that was looking at a business in another state. Great business. He was ready to make a deal. Came down to a little road. Well, big company had access to that road, and they didn't want to wheel and deal. So I left the project sitting there. How much more are we going to do, folks? How much more is big business is going to take away from little guys? Mr. Spencer, who put this thing together 60 years and collected all this stuff. And now, just because a cigarette tobacco company that's not Reynolds Tobacco anymore, it's not Winston anymore, as far as that part of it, they still make Winston cigarettes. But besides that, they just want to junk it. I mean, it's sort of like Brandomir up in Denver, Mile High Nationals. That guy's had that track for years. That family has had that racetrack for years. But finally, it came down to the point that, he took the money. So this will be the last Mile High Nationals, unless I hope they find another place. I've never been to that facility, but that's a great racetrack. And the stars at the NHR, that really tests you because you're mile high up. I mean, the tuners that work on those cars for the NHRA really got to buckle down like when they come here. It's sad. Anyhow, Will Spencer, our hearts here at On Pit Road Racing are thinking of you. And no matter what happens, we would personally like to thank you for everything you did for 60 years. The Winston Cup Museum. I don't know, folks. I just don't know where we're going. Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, 501c3, provides new shoes to needy men, women, children, all the necessary good health and positive development. Log on to the World Wide Web, hotshoehof.com. I got one final break I need to take. We'll come back and we'll wrap it up. I got a couple of comments coming across. So we'll do that. So let's take this final break here. On Pit Road Racing is live at the WCOVM downtown Las Vegas. We'll be back right after this, everybody.
The bright lights, the glitz, the glamour. It all means nothing without a shot. A chance to turn dreams into reality. To change your destiny. To make history. Nothing's given. Everything earned. It's more than a race. It's a shot at a championship.
Let's go get a championship, baby!
The NASCAR playoffs return to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the South Point 400, October 13th through 15th.
Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, hey, you want some shoes? I said, yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well. And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. I'm not we, but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone. You know, it makes for good karma or good energy, whatever it takes. Hell, I ought to do a product placement for Coca-Cola, too.
You're pushing it, Turtle, but have a good day. Thanks, mate. I appreciate you coming on camera.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
All right, talk to you later.
Later, dude.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
And there we go. We're back there. Yes, indeed. Coming up for you. Just a couple of minutes left. Real quickly. Just got a message in here. Like to say a prayer for our good friend Peter Starr. Peter was involved in the motorsports business, made movies, directors. I mean, we lost Peter just a couple of days ago. And I'd like to take a minute just to send a prayer and a thought out to everybody that's involved with the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame, that's known Peter through the years. What a great guy. Gene Woods told me that he passed away at cancer. Terrible way. I had a chance to meet Peter a couple of years ago here at the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame. And for somebody as myself that's not as much involved in a motorcycle racing as I am into four-wheel racing, but Peter took the time to sit down with me and talk to me and gave me a copy of the movie. And just think that he was a heck of a guy. And Lord, I'll bow my head here for a minute as we close the show. And we just ask you to take care of Peter as he's come to you. And we ask you to look over Peter's family, his friends. And Peter, you'll be racing in God's Speedway and in God's land and God's clouds and God's Speedway. I'm sure there's a track up there that you're all excited about being on. So we just like to tip our helmets. And if you wouldn't mind, folks, I'd just like to take about 10 seconds and just be silent and send your prayers and thoughts to Peter and Peter's family and friends that are still with us. Rest in peace, Peter. We love you and we'll miss you here on the here. It's not going to be the same coming around this year on the last weekend of January. Peter's not here with us up on stage with Larry Huffman and Gene and Jerry Bernardo. Just a great guy to be around. He really was. He was just so fun. And you know what? And before I get out of here, you know what was so cool, I guess, about the conversation? He had covered all kinds of motorsports, not just motorcycle. I mean, he covered IndyCar. He covered F1. He'd been to Silverstone. He'd been to places. He said, I asked him, I said, you've been around all these places. How was Monaco? Because he'd covered F1. And he looked at me, he said, Alan, he said, man, I hope before the Lord takes me from this earth that I could make Monaco. Well, Peter, you didn't make it there, but I'm sure that you'll be looking down next year on Memorial Day weekend and you'll be hovering right around Monaco. Our hats and helmets go off to Peter Starr. God bless you, my friend. Godspeed. Back at you next Wednesday, everybody, on Pit Road Racing. We do it live each and every week right here at the WCOBM. One more quick message come in. Just found out he interviewed the Beatles, too. He interviewed the Beatles. Unbelievable. Sort of like, what's his name, Bob Eubanks. Remember Bob Eubanks who used to do the Newlywed Game? You know, Bob was a DJ in San Francisco. You know what his big thing was? He introduced the Rolling Stones back at the Cow Palace when, remember, the Hells Angels and all that broke loose? Yeah, that was Bob Eubanks. That's pretty wild that Peter interviewed the Beatles. That would have been, I mean, that would have been an interview. Whew. You know, to sit down with Paul and Ringo and George, John Lennon. Man. That just had to have been something. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for you today. Diana and I'll be back. We got special guests next week. Don't forget to get out. We'll have all the updates from the bull ring, too. We'll crown a champions. Johnny Spiladro was in today. And before I get out of here, Johnny went to college, graduated of UNLV, got a master's and a bachelor's and a master's degree in physical conditioning. And so Johnny's put together some segments for us about conditioning and what race car drivers do. And we just got those in today. I want to thank Jerry Bernardo for helping me out with that. Jerry, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate him doing that. He hooked us up. I got to get this converter thing. That's what I got to find. Anyhow, I want to thank those folks. And Johnny's segments will air next week. So we'll do it. All right.
Thanks for joining us for On Pit Road Racing. Follow us on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at On Pit Road Racing. On Pit Road Racing is written and produced by WCOBM TV. I'm John the Announcer for On Pit Road Racing.